First off, happy equinox. I feel in a very equipoise and balanced situation here. The topic of my talk is, can a sundial tell plant time? My name is Davidson Norris. I'm an architect. For over 40 years, professional obsession has been interaction with sunlight and three-dimensional objects, whether in cities, on or inside buildings, or tracking shadows on sundials. Sundials have traditionally told civil time. My question is, can a sundial now tell plant time? What is plant time? The snow buttercup defines and embodies plant time, shown here. In early spring in the high mountains, the snow buttercup buds. To maximize photosynthesis and growth, it twists and turns to follow the sun from dawn to dusk. It is heliotropic. The buttercup's heliotropic life and time are governed by its DNA/chronobiology, its internal circadian clock, and its acute microclimatic awareness. These internal clocks, and not the external time of the apple, dictate when it twists, turns, buds, blooms, pollinates, and dies. So if plant time is the dominant temporal rhythm in every garden, then how do we design a garden variety sundial that tells it? My heliotrope sundials offer a solution. Name it after a heliotropic flower. Design it to look like a flower. Encode it with accurate local plant time data. Design and fabricate it with instrument-grade precision and attention to detail. Install it with a concern for deep time stability. But first, seek out historical plant time experiments to guide and inspire you. In 1750, botanist Carl Linnaeus proposed a flower clock that used local flower opening and closing times to tell civil time. While on-site flower clocks have never reliably synchronized plant time with clock time, Linnaeus's flower clock concept suggests that plant time exists and that it can be instantiated by design in the garden. Inspired by perhaps the greatest botanist of all time, I offer 4 sundials, all named after sun-seeking heliotropes. The Hathiori on the left, Meridian arc, Mimosa, an equatorial dial, the buttercup, an equatorial dial, and the tulip, a hemispherical dial. For reference, they all tell civil time. Their mission is to tell plant time. First, embrace plant morphology. Each heliotrope's dial plate mimics the form of its namesake flower. The Hathiori's curved dial plate resembles the flower's scorpion tail form on the left upper. The tulip's bowl-shaped dial plate mirrors the flower's daytime cup. The mimosa sphere identifies with her starburst bloom. The buttercup's flat circular dial plate finds inspiration in its namesake's thin splay of flat petals. All dial plates are bright colors, designed to attract the eye of passing pollinators. Deeply embrace plant morphology. My sketch conveys how indebted my heliotrope designs are to plant morphology. Petals become an abstract, delicately incised aluminum plate. A stamen becomes a sphere of polished, reflective stainless atop a short, diffuse stem. The flower's delicate stem becomes a thin, tapered aluminum column. The root system folds into a stainless steel base plate deeply embedded in the earth. Encode civil time. All heliotropes tell civil time, the unchanging baseline against which plant time's more animated and less predictable tempos can be contrasted and compared. On the buttercup, tulip, and mimosa on the right, straight or curved lines track the sun hour's progress across the noon meridian. The tips of the truncating hour lines define the sun's curved trajectory at the solstices, while a straight line of dots marks the equinox. The Hathiori upper left is a meridian arc. It tells time once a day at solar noon when the sun transits its center line. Edge indents represent civil time. They signal the 21st day of each month. Encode plant time. I'll use the Helioscape designed for a site on the Boston Commons to explain how plant time informs the design of this meridian arc. To determine plant time solar altitude angles necessary to locate key plant development dates on the dial plate, I use species-specific phenology data for Boston supplied by USA NPN. Over a 3-month period in the autumn, the red upper left changed from green to saturated reds, golds, and yellows, and fall. Upper left on the dial plate. A string of incised diamonds inscribed using the maple leaf's plant time solar noon altitudes marks the period of its signature autumnal explosion. Similarly, lower right, a string of circles defines the period in May when Boston lilacs first bud and then 19 days later reach full spring blue-purple flowering. On December 21st, the winter solstice, the gnomon's low shadow starts day-by-day descent following the curve of the dial plate. On June 21st, the shadow reverses course and day-by-day climbs back up. The year complete, a new solstice to solstice annual cycle is born. Along the way, when the shadow aligns with an indent, it marks the 21st of each month, civil time. When you observe the shadow in the midst of lilac circles or red maple diamonds, civil time no longer applies. You're now enveloped in and engaged with plant time. Heliotrope fabrication is instrument grade. Site latitude and longitude selected by the client are determined to 6 decimal points. NOAA spreadsheets calculate precise solar angles for all encoded time markers at a given location. Heliotrope's own 3D CAD models test daily and hourly shadow timing and location accuracy on the dial plate. To avoid translation errors, the fabricator executes final drawings based on my calculations of civil and plant time angles. Approved shop drawings drive a 5-axis milling machine that sculpts the dial plate from solid aluminum blocks. The Helioscape dial plate emerges from a 2-foot square block that is 3 inches thick and is milled to a tolerance of 1/10,000th of an inch. Other components like the base plate and stem are milled from solid stainless steel. Finished surfaces are hand polished or sprayed by hand in the shop using a military-grade ceramic color. Precision installation ensures absolute true cardinal orientation and straight-up vertical. Deep concrete footings ensure stability. The heliotrope in the private garden. A heliotrope with its trim form, aggressive scale, and colorful presence anchors an axial view in a formal garden or surprises the hiker on a landscape walk. For a committed observer, ritual contemplation of the heliotrope introduces her mind to plant time's seductive, mysterious, and more contingent temporal dimension. Heliotrope in a botanical garden or arboretum. For an arboretum or a botanical garden, the heliotrope can serve as a key design focal point or sculptural moment in the overall landscape design, in particular, if it also serves a public education function. A heliotrope surrounded by its plant time flowers can provide an interactive observatory that allows for directed instruction and group discussions about civil time versus plant time, plant chronobiology, predictable plant growth stages, gathering and interpretation of phenological data, local indicators of climate change. The heliotrope as an educational platform. The Griffith Observatories shown here, Meridian Arc shown here, and overscaled Helioscape completed in 2008 supports this idea. Every day at solar noon, a staff astronomer guides the public in observation of the solar transit. The stargazer then opens discussion about the instrument, its connection to astronomical cycles, and the mytho-cosmical narratives. My heliotropes can do the same. I designed the Griffith Observatory's Meridian Arc. The heliotrope is a time portal. Heliotropes to me are time portals. The Apple Watch governs the flow of civil time outside the portal. Inside, in a real garden, you can, in real time, meaningfully engage with plant time. Listen for the hum of the snow buttercup chasing the sun on a cold mountain morning. When you hear it, go full heliotropic. Pause, turn slowly, and embrace the sun. To answer my original question, yes, a sundial can tell, as I think I've shown you, plant time. And yes, my heliotropes do. For more verbal and visual information, as well as questions I may not have time to answer, we just launched a new website, noted here, or you can email me directly. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Davidson. Very original and very exciting presentation. I guess I would need more than the time of your presentation to understand all that you have imagined, but it's very, very interesting. Thank you.